Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am the one, the only, the unknown still for some reason, the Wolfie. And it's 'tis the season to be spooked. Yes, welcome to another episode, or I should say, welcome to the first episode of Spooky Time with La Wolfie. And it's me, your host. Oh, that's so gross. It's me, your host, La Wolfie. Oh yeah, isn't that disgusting? Your fucking host. With the squeaky pants with the chair. Oh, you like that? It's an ASMR too. As well as good as a ghost story. Where should I start this story off? Well, let's go back to the beginning. So, allegedly, my grandma was very, very much into witchcraft. She summoned a demon, yada yada yada. My family, like my aunts and uncles who have had to grow up in the house, all have kind of spoken out together, with the exception of a few who, choose to be silent and quiet about these things. So, the house that my grandma summoned a demon in was haunted way before that point. Like, that's just the tip of the iceberg. What happened was my grandpa at the time, him and my grandma were separated, bought this old house that was 3 stories in a little town in Texas. And as soon as he bought it, and as soon as the family moved in, a bunch of strange occurrences started happening, such as footsteps walking down the hallway, apparitions of a man with a cowboy hat, and this weird black cat that my mom kept seeing. And we'll get to the black cat in a different story, but for now we're focusing on the house that started it all. So for a while, it mainly was just the footsteps and the cowboy guy, who were probably the same person. At least that's what my aunts and uncles thought. They would hear it every night like clockwork. When it first started happening, they called the police. The police came. They found nothing. No evidence of anything going on in that house. None. And eventually, the kids started moving out until it was the youngest, I think 6, 7, maybe 5, around there. Yeah, it was a big family. I think there was about 14 kids. They were Mexican. As you can tell, 14 kids. Yes, that's a lot. Can you imagine? Christmases, birthdays. I'm glad, I can't get pregnant, but we could try sometime if you want to. Back to the story though. Yeah, it was like my mom, her twin, and then like a few other siblings who were the younger ones on the end of the kids spectrum. And at that point, my grandpa had gotten really sick, and like he was getting old, and eventually, my grandma came back into the picture because she wasn't really a part of the life too much. She kind of went off and did her own thing, and then at some point in her life, she realized all the mistakes she has made, and we're all making mistakes. We're all human. Nobody faulted her to that. She came back. Everybody welcomed her with loving arms because kids want a mom. Kids should have a mom or a dad. Kids should have a parental figure, is what I'm saying. And she came back. My grandpa took her back, and then shortly after, he passed away, and my grandma became the owner of the house. And my grandma was trying to turn a new page in the book, but unfortunately, the book was like a brujeria book. And if you guys don't know what brujeria is, it's basically like a form of witchcraft done in Mexico that's kind of on the darker side, I would say. I could be wrong. Don't kill me if I'm wrong. Don't threaten me. Don't just correct me very nicely, because I'm kind of drunk. But so brujeria, Mexican witchcraft, kind of bad. I'm not 100% sure though. The type of brujeria she was doing was bad, like really bad. And rumor has it that she summoned something up in the attic. Yeah, the attic. And after all the kids moved out, she kind of quarantined the attic and would not let anybody even go up to the second story. Nobody. Except her. She was the only person to go up. And one of my aunts stopped by one day, and she was probably like about 25, maybe 26. And she couldn't get her mom's attention. So, you know, she goes to check the back door, which has a screen in it. So she's looking through the window of the back door, and she sees my grandma going up the stairs with a plate of chicken. A few minutes later, she comes back down, and the plate of chicken is just a plate of bones. Seriously. And a lot of weird things kept happening. Um, my grandma got really sick with cervical cancer, and um, she had to find caring. She had to find care in the company of her kids. I never experienced having to take care of grandma, but my cousin Brandy did, and she's the only person I feel like that has seen what my grandma summoned, and we call that thing the beast because allegedly it's a beast, not human, just a fucking beast. And this thing followed her until my grandma passed away, and I mean followed. Every time she'd go and get taken care of by one of the siblings, my aunts and uncles, she would at some point freak out and be like, "It's here, it's here, it's here," and they knew what she meant. They'd look at her, staring silently into a corner, freaking out. And when my grandma died, she kind of took all that with her. And there's a lot more to that story that I've left out. But I just wanted to kind of go over the basics because that led to a bunch of problems for the younger generations who were yet to come. Like, I was very sensitive to supernatural and paranormal things to the point where in my house that I grew up in, it came to the point where I couldn't sleep on the bed in my own bedroom. I had to go and sleep on the couch because I was terrified. My room scared me. I had nightmares. I experienced things. And I feel like I should start at the beginning. It all started when I was 5 years old. I remember being a little kid, and me and my sister used to play a spontaneous game of hide and seek where we'd run in front of each other, and the other person followed. And the goal of it was for the person who was running to be the faster runner and then hide while the other person chased them. And we played the game for a while. One time, I saw my sister run into the kitchen, and this kitchen was a one exit, one entrance type of kitchen. There was no coming out of it without somebody seeing. So when my little girl, who I thought was my sister, ran in, I followed her. Because that's what we did, you know? I was laying on the couch, she ran into the kitchen. For me, it's like we're playing the game. I followed her, and when I entered the kitchen, there was nobody there. Nobody. It was empty. I looked everywhere, and I couldn't find her. She did not walk out. She wasn't even in the kitchen at that moment. And it was something that stuck with me, because when I turned 6, we had moved, and it happened again. But this time, it was a little different. When we moved into our new house a year later, I was excited. It was a little bigger, it was in a better spot, and I was super ecstatic. Me and my sister had since stopped playing that game. She kind of grew out of it. She had turned, I believe, about 11 at that point. And I was still young, so I was still like, trying to, hey, let's play hide and seek and stuff. And she was just, not at the right age for that. She was, making new friends. She was hanging out with them instead. So when it happened again, you could imagine my excitement because something that I wanted to do for so long, play hide and seek with my sister, was finally happening. And I was super excited, super happy, super ready for it. But it happened again. And this time, I, if I knew what gambling was, I would have put money on the fact that it was my sister because she, because it's obviously a little girl that I keep seeing, and I've seen her more than just these two times. We'll get into that later, but this little girl was wearing my sister's favorite T-shirt, and it was just this basic like forest green shirt with these little balloons on them, and she loved them. She got it from her. She got it as a class shirt from her school. So it was one of her cherished, cherished. It was one of her, most prized possessions, and seeing a little girl running into that, into the kitchen again, with that shirt on, I was like convinced, completely, utterly convinced it was my sister, playing the game that we've played before all over again, and I was excited. I was ready, so I get up and I run, and there's nobody in the kitchen, and it's the same deal, a very similar build. There was only one exit, one entrance, and at that point, there was really no hiding spots for her to hide. And I checked all the easiest spots to hide in, and she wasn't there. And all the other spots she could not have fit into. And it kind of stayed with me because I kept seeing this little girl a lot. A lot. She's something that has followed me consistently and constantly growing up. And I haven't seen her in a while. This isn't my only ghost story. I've had more that are worse. This is just the introduction. This is just about the little girl who has followed me constantly since I was, 6, 5. Since I was 5. And, like I said, I haven't seen her. I feel like I've kind of aged out of being able to see things. I've had seen things. I have seen things at my age recently, but nothing ever as like lifelike or like vibrant as the things I saw growing up, especially in that one house that we moved into when I was about 10. And I lived there until I moved out of home at the age of 18. And the things I experienced there, I used to wake up with scratches on my back. There was something inside the house at one point trying to get me. I probably even saw the devil himself. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that because this concludes this segment of Spooky Time with La Woofie. And I hope you like, I hope you comment, I hope you subscribe for more Spooky Times with La Woofie. Because I have a whole fucking lot of scary stories to tell. And I think I'm ready to tell them, honestly. Honestly, truly, join the scammer, truly. So, catch you next time. Don't let the ghosts get you.